I just want to get really your initial thoughts on how you think President Biden did on the global stage at the G20, especially in the absence of Xi Jinping, who decided not to attend.
I think President Biden and the United States had a good 3 or 4 days, both in New Delhi at the G20 and also at Hanoi. And that was important for the United States to do. But it comes in the backdrop of 2.5 years of atrocious diplomacy, with the catastrophic withdrawal in Afghanistan, which led to Putin's invasion of Ukraine and the failure of the United States to deal effectively with Russia after the invasion. The important thing here is that President Biden needs to have an honest conversation with the American people. Last month at that Democratic Party fundraiser in Utah, he called China a ticking time bomb and said, bad people do bad things. Well, yes, he was right about that, but he has an obligation to talk to more than just Democrats in Utah. He has an obligation, a constitutional obligation, to talk to the American people about the danger that China poses to the U.S. Biden has failed to do that. He failed to do that in New Delhi. He failed to do that in Hanoi. The American people demand President Biden actually tell them what he thinks about China and the danger it poses.
Well, he did meet with the Chinese premier there and talked about the economic relationship, and in particular the crisis. They talked about Taiwan, any type of invasion. What was your read on that?
Well, Biden said that there was a crisis in China, and that's right. The economy is in crisis. It's not growing at the 5% pace that they claim. The inflation numbers they released a few hours ago don't correspond with what we know. The Chinese economy is contracting, especially evident from 11 straight months of drops in imports. And yes, it is a crisis. But what Biden also said, he said, because of this crisis, China is less likely to invade Taiwan. I think the opposite is true, because Xi Jinping will see a closing window of opportunity. And also, there have been some very disturbing developments inside the Chinese regime, which suggests turbulence, which suggests that Xi Jinping now has even more incentive to be reckless.